nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death. Good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
What's going on, guys? I'm Brad.
I'm Miguel.
And welcome back to Let's Talk Movies. This is episode number 9 of our horror show, Purely and Simply Evil. And tonight we are talking Halloween H20 20 years later from 1998. It's going to be a cool one. This is actually one of my favorite movies in the franchise. It's got its issues, no doubt. But there's something about it that I like a little bit more than some of the other entries. So this will be a fun one to talk about. Unlike this Saturday, where we're talking Halloween Resurrection.
Oh my God! Shut up.
That's
not bad.
Miguel's sick of me complaining about Resurrection. It's not. We'll get there. We'll get there. Hope you guys are having a great night. We actually didn't have any live shows last week, so it's good to be back on here with you guys. This is the 9th episode. I just threw my pen on the ground. Apparently, that's the kind of night we're getting ready to have.
That's fine. You don't need to write stuff down.
So this is
do you want mine?
Yes. Hand it to me.
Kiss
me through the phone. Give it through the screen. This is episode 9 of our show. Episode 10 will be Resurrection, and then we're gonna have a short little couple week break maybe before we start season 2. Season 2 is shaping up to be hot
and bothered.
It is. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna check out the Nightmare on Elm Street series, take a big old deep dive into that. I think we're gonna save the remake for a rainy day. I think we're gonna save the remake because I'm thinking we might do a season, maybe season 3. Who knows? We might do a season on some of those 2000s horror remakes: the Texas Chainsaw remake, the Halloween remake, the Friday the 13th remake, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and kind of just tackle those all at once. So we'll save that, but we'll go through the first Elm Street through New Nightmare. And we'll throw a couple of other films in there too. We like to kind of change it up every once in a while. So
how many movies is that?
Well, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then New Nightmare, which New Nightmare was kind of its own. New Nightmare kind of its own thing. It's not really it's super meta. It's basically like Freddy comes into the actors' lives. Like the actors are all playing themselves. They're not playing like the fictional versions of themselves, but they're playing. Well, they're not playing their Elm Street character, but they're playing a fictional version of themselves. It's really confusing. It was super ahead of its time. Super meta, kind of like Halloween H20. Scream had just come out when H20 came out, and it was kind of the hot thing. Scream kicked ass at the box office when it came out. So obviously they were like, well, we got to copy it. We got to do what Scream is doing. So, you know, that was kind of the hot thing at the time. And it does feel, compared to the rest of the franchise, H20 feels very 90s, like hardcore, even more so than Halloween 6. Halloween 6, I think, still feels a little bit more. It's not quite to the extent that 4 and 5 were, but it still feels like it's on the 80s side of things, even though that was 1995. This was 4 years later in 98. But I think it still feels it still feels very 90s to me. So before we do any of that, before we start talking H20, I got on Facebook this morning, and the very first thing I noticed was a post that it is the official 26th year anniversary of Resident Evil, which is absolutely mind-blowing to me. So I feel like I would be doing the franchise a disservice, and like we would be doing like ourselves a disservice, because like we've talked about this before. I am a huge Resident Evil fan. I have a lot to owe to Resident Evil because it's kind of the thing that got me into horror. Mm-hmm. So it's a big deal, man. It's hard to believe that it's 26 years old. Like, it doesn't seem like it's a franchise that could be that old.
Dang. So Resident Evil only started like 2 years before I was even fucking born. That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's pretty wild. And I mean, when you look at
dang, he's choking up on just a celebration, dog. That's some shit. So wait, when was the first time you played Resident Evil? When was the first what was the first Resident Evil game, and when was the first time you played it?
I remember. So this kind of goes back to my dad, because like I know I'm choking on myself. I'm tearing up. This kind of goes to my dad a lot, because and I owe me being such a Resident Evil fan to him, because he loved the original game when it came out. And I remember when he told me when Resident Evil Survivor came out. We're going back to PS1. For those of you that are old enough that you played PS1 when you were a kid. I
know I made that face, but I've owned a PS1, so fuck off.
I know. I really wish we had our PS1, because they're like collector's items now. But I remember he said when Survivor came out, him and his buddy sat and played Survivor for like they just stayed up and played it and got through it. And the first one that like I remember him introducing me to Survivor, but I actually started I really got into the franchise playing 4. 4 was the first one that like I legitimately like got emotionally invested in. I remember when 4 came out. I remember the first time we ever beat Resident Evil 4. It was like we won the lottery. Like it was a really big deal in my house when we finally got through Resident Evil 4. And I've probably played through that game.
Imagine if your football team just made the game-winning touchdown. That's literally what happened at the Villanacci's house.
Legit, it was a really big deal.
They even tailgate the last chapter.
And I mean, again, my dad was just talking to me the other day. He was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to beat Krauser again. Like he's playing through it again." I mean, we've played through it a million times. I've got the HD version. I've got the original. We've got like the. Well, he has it because that's his baby, man. He's got the it's a steelbook, and it's not like a crappy steelbook. It's a hefty steelbook, and it's got the bonus disc, it's got the actual game disc, and it's got a little card. It's Ada. It's got Ada Wong, and it's a little card, but it's still in the plastic and everything. And it's got a little book in it with like the history of the franchise up until that point. Like it's pretty cool, man. And then
it's gonna be worth a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie.
It probably is, especially because it's in good condition. Do you remember when the PS3 came out? We got to go back.
No,
we got to go back a couple decades.
I don't. I really don't, man. So. Was that high school or like middle school?
That would have been late middle school, mid to late middle school for us.
The PS3.
Yep.
Because then they just come out with the PS4.
The PS5 is out now.
Fuck me, dude. That's how out of the game I am.
Yeah, the PS5 is out. And it's also, I would love to get one, but it's $900. And I'm like, no.
Not worth it.
I'm good. No, it's not. Well, and here's the thing. Like when the PS3 came out, so they released Resident Evil 5 as like a joint thing with the PlayStation 3. And I don't remember, like we had some extra cash saved up, and like I had money saved up, and it was just like, it was a couple different things, but we wanted Resident Evil 5 so bad. And there was a bundle thing. It was like you get the game half off if you buy the console with it. And we were in Lexington opening day in Hamburg to get that freaking PS3. And I remember we bought 2 controllers. We bought the PS3. We got Resident Evil 5. It was like and you know, when you're younger and you're excited about something, especially something like that, you're like trying to like open it out of the package and stuff to play it. Like it was like I beat the first level that night. Like I got through like the first like 40 minutes of the game the night I opened it, just because I was so hype. And then Miguel remembers, our dog Tink, actually I was playing it and I had the controller plugged in, and she ripped it off the wall and broke it.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
The console,
Rest in
not the
peace,
game.
Stink.
The console. And it's fun looking back on it. It's funny, but at the time you're like, like you just want to like crawl in a hole and die. But we ended up getting one, and I mean, I remember my brother and I actually played Resident Evil 5. I think you got the infinite rocket launcher or something. If you got something like that, if you beat it in 5 hours, like straight through, no stopping, for 5 hours. And we sat there for 5 hours, and like under 5 hours, we beat 5 in under 5 hours. That was another. It's one of my biggest accomplishments. I have it on my resume.
That you got the infinite rocket launcher.
Yep,
bro, that's pretty fire. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm kidding.
So what is it? What is it? I feel like what was Resident Evil the first game that created like that trope where it's like the one thing to kill the boss is like a rocket launcher. Yeah. It's like every other time it's like
it really is. Every single time you need a rocket launcher.
Yeah. And like that new movie that came out, and like that, like the last thing, Leon used the fucking rocket launcher. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Where'd that come from?
Yeah.
So
it's super random. But yeah, man. What was your introduction to Resident Evil? Like, what was the first game you played?
Resident Evil 6, dog.
You started that late?
Yeah, I did.
Wow, you're a late bloomer.
Bro, like I said, I didn't even realize how old PS3 was. That's how out of touch I am with fucking video games, dog. I don't really play much video games.
A lot of people hated 6, but here's the thing.
You know what? They can suck a dick.
I think of Resident Evil.
It was probably the most how can I say, expansive story.
It was
the most expansive story with so many awesome parallels, and like you can play multiple people with multiple stories. Now they intertwine with one another. I thought that was dope.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the gameplay wasn't as great, but the story was good. Like, I think about Resident Evil and trilogies. Like, you have 0, 1, 2. Well, 1, 2, and 3. I know they did 0, which was like a prequel. But you have like 1, 2, and 3, which are all the spin-offs from that era take place in the whole Raccoon City, the original Outbreak, the Hive, all that stuff. And then you have 4, 5, and 6, which is basically the bioterrorism era, which is when they were trying to sell the viruses on the black market and all that stuff. And it's basically like that's why dude, the marketing for Resident Evil 6 was on point. I remember the original teaser trailer for that was it made it like it was like World War. Like it was like kids in a school, bunkered in a classroom, and people with pandemic kind of stuff, like wearing masks and trying to shield themselves. And there was a guy that put a biohazard symbol and wrote "No Hope Left" in spray paint, and that biohazard symbol turned into the 6 for Resident Evil 6. And I seeing that trailer again. That was a really cool moment, and that made me super hyped for the game. So a lot of good moments, man. Happy 26th anniversary to the thing that started the survival horror genre, Resident Evil. So big deal.
Props to you guys.
Props to Capcom. And I couldn't begin to tell you who created that game, because it's
Sam, not a real fan. What a guy.
Well, it's a Japanese originated game. That's why it's called Biohazard in Japan and in Asia.
Really? Because they can't say evil?
Well, I don't know about that, but it's called Biohazard there. It's not called Resident Evil. It's called Biohazard. That's its name. So
I know, right?
It's a franchise with two names.
I've never heard Resident Evil ever be mentioned in the game.
No.
Yeah. I think that's weird.
Why?
By the way, it is what it is.
Whatever. It is what it is. Let's talk Halloween H2O. We're finally here. Halloween H2O released August 5th, 1998. Had a $17 million budget, but it made $75 million at the box office. So it did fairly well. No, I mean, it didn't Halloween 2018 it, but it did fairly well. For 1998, for it being kind of the thing that was coming off of Halloween 6, which, if we're being completely honest, was to basically critically, that's what Halloween 6 was. Nobody liked it. It wasn't really well, critically acclaimed or anything like that. Directed by Steve Miner, written by Robert Zappia, Kevin Williamson, and Matt Greenberg. At one point, H2O was the highest grossing Halloween movie until 2018 came out. And like I said, Halloween 6 was a complete bomb, like atomic bomb, like almost killed the series. They were actually looking to push this next sequel to they were going to do a sequel to Halloween 6, and they were actually looking at a direct to video, like a direct home release option for it.
Yeah.
It was going to be one of those just like straight to DVD options. There was going to be no theatrical release.
I love those movies because those movies are so underrated. Because like the ones that go straight to DVD, like they just fly under the radar, but some of them are pretty good. But, if it went straight to DVD, that's how you know the show is going to suck in the movie theater.
Well, it would have sucked in the movie theater, but like you said, some of them are good. But anything that goes like straight to DVD or like direct home video is weird. It's always very strange. You know what I mean? Like it's some strange directions. It's some strange plots. It's odd. So I feel like it would have been something completely just wackadoo. The music
now that's just a new norm.
Yeah, right. The music was actually done by a couple of guys. I think they kind of collaborated to an extent. I could be getting this wrong, and if you know, let me know in the comments below. The John Ottman, I believe, who actually has a pretty cool resume. He did Eight-Legged Freaks. He did the X-Men films. He did the original Fantastic Four films by Tim Story. He
learned from his mistakes.
One of the two of them actually wrote like most of the score, and they trashed it. They were like, "Nope, we don't like it. It's not what we want." And then Marco Beltrami, who was a longtime collaborator with Wes Craven, he did the Scream films. He did Live Free or Die Hard. He did the Ron Perlman Hellboy films, which I think are actually incredibly underrated movies. I actually love Ron Perlman's Hellboy.
That's not underrated. It's good.
Is it a trilogy? Is there a third one, or is it just two?
No, it's just Hellboy 1 and Hellboy the Golden Army. It was supposed to, but
yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I still haven't seen David Harbour's Hellboy. It didn't look very good. I'm not gonna. And I heard
it's really cool that
the reviews suck.
What's it called? I forgot what his name was. Fucking me. It was something called. There is a hero called the Lobster in that movie, which is like, again, this is comic. This is, I think, is it DC? I think it is DC. It's DC Comics, and there is a comic book hero called the Lobster, and he was, quote unquote, a Nazi hunter. Yeah, that was, and he said what he would do. He was like Inglourious Bastards, but one guy, pretty much. Well, because he had this like weird like thing in his hand that he would like stain like what's it called? Yeah. What's it called? When you stick a cow with the hot metal bar? Branding. Yeah, he would brand them with like the claw. It was like a brand with the claw. Yeah, and he says "Fear the Claw" or some bullshit like that. And it was so fucking stupid in the movie. But when I read up on him, bro, he's actually kind of dope. He's got some pretty cool comics. Like, so I'd like to see it just so I could see the Lobster. And what's his name? Who plays Sandman?
Sandman.
Yeah, who plays Sandman in the Sam Raimi movie?
Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church. That's who plays the Lobster.
Really? Interesting.
So it may not. It may be a
What's
shitty
his name?
movie.
Lobster Man?
The Lobster Man or something like that. Look up DC The Lobster. Yeah,
that's interesting. Well, what I liked about the Ron, we keep getting off on tangents here.
I know, right? I'm sorry, guys.
What I liked about the Ron Perlman Hellboy films was that they had a little bit of detective.
It was Guillermo del Toro's beautiful art. Well,
but it
setting a scene.
It was kind of artsy like that, and it was dark and gothic, and it had kind of the supernatural / like religious elements in with it, but it also like it had that like detective crime feel to it. You know what I mean? Like it was, I don't know, it was good. I dug it. Anyways, longtime collaborator. I think he's the guy who actually ended up doing the music, and the music is good. It's got kind of the orchestral thing going on where they tried to add like the flute, like that kind of stuff going on. Like mixed into the Halloween theme, which it's okay.
It works.
It's not.
Sure.
It worked for this movie. I don't think I'd really, unless it was done like heavy, like legit heavy orchestra, like that kinds of things. I think an orchestral score could work, but it was almost like they tiptoed around it in this one. You know what I mean? Like go balls to the
Like, it
wall or
wasn't-
don't do it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was
it
gonna
was
say
just
like
kind
it,
of
like it
like
was like only like really like important moments when the score came out.
well, it's like it's the
Otherwise-
Halloween theme, but they tried to make it pretty. You know what I mean?
Pretty?
Like, yeah, like it was so pretty. So yeah, I don't know. But prior to the finalized draft of this script by Robert Zappia, there were quite a few different ideas that they wanted to turn to before coming up with H2O. Originally, the movie that would have been, I guess, the direct-to-video version was based on the second half of Daniel Farron's original script to Halloween 6. If you remember that, kind of they really went balls to the wall in the second half of that. Like Tommy realized that all of Haddonfield is a part of the Thult of Corn, or the Thult of Corn. Wow, the Thult of Corn, the Cult of Thorn.
Thought sounds scarier.
With the Thult.
It's like a cult of thoughts. You know what I mean? That's what a cult is. That cult over there,
wow.
pretty much.
Holy crap. Anyways, Tommy realizes that like all of Haddonfield is a part of the Cult of Thorn, and he basically tries to take on the entire town of Haddonfield with Lumet. Like, I don't.
It's pretty dope. Sounds like Resident Evil 4.
But how would you have done that? Like, how? Like, why? I don't know. That dog crap. Like, let's be glad that didn't happen.
I can imagine Dr. Lumet just fucking people up, and no matter who it is, it could be like an older lady, and she's apparently part of the Cult of Thorn. He goes back to the house where they got trapped, and he finds her and just decks her in the jaw, and like, bro, the hammer of justice sees no gender.
That wouldn't have happened though, because
out.
Donald Pleasance died after Halloween 6.
So you say.
So that what?
He doesn't die.
The actor died, like himself. He died.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like Dr. Loomis says he's never.
No. Like Donald Pleasance himself died. Like the real person died after I believe he died in 96, if I'm not wrong, or it might have been 95. I'm not positive. But Daniel Farrens actually stated that he couldn't bear to watch another one of his scripts turned into a debacle, especially another Halloween. So he was like, nope, I'm gone. See ya. I'm not doing this anymore. So they turned to Robert Zappia, who wrote a treatment. This treatment, we got to talk about some of these unmade movies, man, because they got like snort coke off of a kitchen counter. His treatment was titled Halloween 7, The Two Faces of Evil. And that script
I'm so lost at the snorting coke on the kitchens, but okay.
I don't know. That script involved Michael stalking an all-girls boarding school.
Okay.
And he
very 80s.
Like what? How did we come to an all-girls boarding school?
What is this, Animal House? No.
They originally wanted to tie in Laurie Strode, and they were going to call it Halloween Blood
Feud.
Let me see. Look at my notes here. Blood Halloween Bloodsport. No, Halloween Blood Ties. You got to get your best Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm not making fun of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, he's scary.
Homeboy's what, in his like 70s or 80s, and he would still break me in half.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that almost happened. Then there was an idea, was a sequel to 1 through 6 called Halloween 7, The Revenge of Laurie Strode. And this was kind of similar to what they did with H2O. It still had John as her son, that she still like faked her death and all that stuff, but it tied the Cult of Thorn into it, and it tied Jamie into it. I feel like that would have been like a complete mess to try to tie in all that stuff. Like, could you imagine having to tie the first 6 like all together into one bow and do a sequel to that? Like,
No, I couldn't, because then that would take away from the screen time from my man LL Cool J, and I don't like that.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't see how that could have ever been a thing. And we really have Jamie Lee Curtis to thank for the current version of H2O, because she wanted to do a 20-year anniversary film that was basically a huge thank you to all the different fans of the franchise. Like, the original idea was to kind of like reunite and recreate what they did in 1978, like everybody who worked on the original film, particularly John Carpenter and Deborah Hill and Jamie Lee Curtis. But here's the deal with that, Miguel. I feel like you'll think this is kind of funny when you hear Carpenter's response. So John Carpenter wanted $10 million to direct, and he wanted a 3-film deal with Dimension in order to sign on. I don't know if that now I couldn't find in my research, like a lot of what I pulled. It's over here behind me on this shelf. I get a lot of this from Taking Shape. A lot of it's online too. Buy Taking Shape if you haven't already, because there's a ton of information in there. I don't know if he wanted 10 million plus 3 Halloween films or just 3 films in general, like make H2O or what would have been, that version of H2O plus 2 other films of his own, like original movies. I don't know exactly what he wanted, but that was the deal. That's what he wanted. And the Akkads and the Weinsteins said hell no to that. Harvey Weinstein was like, nope. So John Carpenter was like, okay, bye. He was like, okay, whatever, no skin off my back, goodbye. So that kind of happened with John Carpenter's involvement, and I think kind of in the fact that John Carpenter was gone, Deborah Hill was gone. There was also still some heat between Mustafa Akkad and John Carpenter, because like I don't know, and I feel like if you asked him on the day, it would change. You know what I mean? But like, I think John Carpenter felt that they never properly compensated him for the franchise, like for doing all the other sequels, which that's fair. I mean, that's fair. I get it. Because it was his baby, it was his creation, you know what I mean? So he should get royalties off of that, even if it's not. I mean, he's not going to get rich off of it, you know what I mean? But I mean, he still did the first 3 films. I mean, had a heavier involvement in the first 3 films. I mean, he only directed the first one. That's the only one he's actually directed. But so John Carpenter and Deborah Hill were out. Now I pulled this from we're gonna hold on. We'll come back to this. We're gonna come back to what I was about to say, because that kind of gets into the plot a little bit. J Dead is in the house. He says, "Yo, what's going on, buddy? Yo." So let's talk about the plot a little bit, Miguel. What did you think of the direction they took H2O in like scrapping all of the other sequels?
I thought it was I'm not surprised because of how Halloween 6 ended. It was such like a open-ended thing, kind of. And like you said, like Halloween 5 and 6 was like so many things, so much shit thrown to the wall and hoping things would stick. But the problem was like none of it stuck. So like they just went ahead and tried something completely different. Yeah. And I think that was like this movie came out like what? A little bit after the success of Scream.
Oh yeah, Scream. I think Scream came out in 97, 96, 97, and it was hot. I mean, Scream made like over $100 million, I think, at the box office. Like, it was a really big deal.
Yeah, so pretty much during that time, I'm pretty sure they were thinking that, okay, well, we probably got to come up with another story and something that's, new and fresh. So they went with, they took away from the Cult of Thorns, because I'm pretty sure they realized that shit sucked, but...
Or the Felt of Corn.
Or the Felt of Corn, yeah. Or so they decided to take this other route, which is like, I don't know. Like when I seen this movie, it gave me so much like Final Destination vibes, like that atmosphere, like the very first one. Like it was like so late 90s and 2000s. Like
you get the vibes of Final Destination, Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. Or
like you could honestly like
J-Dead
put a
says
video.
Halloween H2O, the Dawson Creek years.
Yeah, literally, that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
right there. I was like, you could literally do an aerial shot of that like school and put any type of boy band music over that, and I wouldn't be surprised. I would not question it at all. I'd be like, okay, it's one of those movies.
You got to throw in sync
One
over
of those coming of age movies. You know what I mean?
I don't even think it's a coming of age movie.
No, but what's his name again with the fucking who's Laurie's son?
John Tate, which is
John Tate.
You mean the actor or the
the actor?
Oh, that's Josh Hartnett.
Yeah, so the Josh Hartnett. When I saw his face, it hit me. The 90s and early 2000s hit me so hard in the fucking face when I saw him. I was like, yo, I ain't seen you in a little bit, man.
Yeah.
I guess I haven't watched many old movies then, because he is the face of like the 90s and 2000s, like Pretty Boy. Like, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this was his first movie, but like I think he overacted certain points in it. Like
his first movie?
Like, huh?
Is it everybody's fucking first movie?
Like, I don't know, but like
a lot of actors got their first shot with Halloween, so give props.
Well, like you had Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in it.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
I actually
Paul
noticed
Rudd,
this when I was pulling up the
and Josh Hartnett.
I was pulling up the cast list here. So I mean, obviously, like you have Adam Arkin, Adam Hahn Bird, who plays Charlie, which is John's friend. I'm about to blow your mind. You know who I'm talking about, right? John's friend,
the
Charlie,
kid with
the other kid.
Yeah.
That is the young Alan Parrish from Jumanji. Yeah, that blew my entire mind when I
confirming right the fuck now.
It's on IMDb. Look it up. Blew my whole mind when I realized that when I was pulling this up. I was like, holy crap. I do like that it was a new direction, that it was a fresh direction. I feel like if they didn't milk it enough, like again, I actually really like Halloween H2O. It may be in my top 5 of the franchise, but I think again, it does have its issues. It does have, other than the opening, which we're kind of coming up on anyways, the opening of the movie, the first 10 minutes or so, not even 10 minutes, the first 8 minutes or so has some of the most Halloween fall atmosphere of the entire franchise. Like the way it opens, and you have to remember, it doesn't open in Haddonfield. It opens in it starts with an L. Is it Langston or Langston or Langdon, something like that, Illinois? Up the Rick Grimes from up the roadaways. So it's just kind of like up the roadaways from Haddonfield or something. But Marion Chambers, who they brought the first time bringing Marion Chambers back, Nancy Stevens playing her again, is kind of, she lives there and she's, I guess, still a nurse, still chain smoking. She smokes like 5 cigarettes in the first 2 minutes of the movie. She pulls up, she realizes her house has been broken into, and the leaves are blown. It's kind of an overcast day. It looks like it's kind of cool out. People trick-or-treating. It's a great Halloween atmosphere. Like everything's decorated. There's cobwebs. There's like orange and purple lights. I really like the opening to this movie. It looks really good. And that's when we get introduced to Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his buddy. What was his name? Jimmy, I think. Jimmy or Johnny? I think it was Jimmy.
Yeah. Well, also, did you know? This cast was actually kind of stacked, if I'm being honest. You know Molly in this movie?
Yeah, Michelle Williams.
Yeah, bro. What the fuck? I did not realize that, bro. What the hell are we doing here? What the hell?
It was pretty stacked for the 90s.
She was in Dawson's Creek too. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind right now.
J-Dead says H2O felt like a Warner Brothers TV show.
now that I'm watching the cast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you're right though. Damn, son.
You know what's funny is
all I needed is Drake in a wheelchair, and next thing you know, I'm watching Degrassi.
What's funny is like some of the and I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but like some of the earlier scenes with him when Marion comes home and like it's very obvious her house has been broken into, and she, instead of like, hey, let's just wait and call the cops, she's like, Jimmy, go in there. She sends the teenage kid in there to go check her house.
Yeah, she literally sends the kid after she's like, been through like 2 movies of Michael Myers?
Yeah, right.
Wrecking her shit.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, you know what? Send the kid in.
Yeah, because you have to remember, in this timeline, 2 is still a part of it. It's not a 2018 where it's just the first one. Halloween 2 is a part of this. So yeah. So Michael and Loomis survived to being blown up.
Yeah.
As Miguel says, blown up.
Yep. And yet she still sends fucking good old Levitt over here.
Well, it's funny because he walks in and he's got the hockey puck or whatever. And well, first of all, there's a Jason reference in there because you see him and he's got the hockey mask down or whatever. And what does he say when he walks into her house and he's like, "All righty here." He's like, "I've already been suspended 6 times because I've gotten a little crazy with the stick." And he slaps the stick down and it's like, bro, calm down. Any burglar is going to be like, "Bro, I have a gun." "Well, I got a stick."
But in reality, Michael had a fucking rollerblade.
Right? Oh.
Yeah. Oh. His death was probably the worst I've seen. Yeah, I gotta say.
You didn't even see it. It was an off-screen death.
Yeah, just seeing how he got fucked up. You know, probably like 12-year-old Levitt just, getting impaled by a fucking...
Well, that's what he gets for telling an old lady you're going to check on her house and you go in and steal a couple of beers. Also, I respect Marion Chambers for still drinking beer. Like, she needs a couple Miller Lights every other night. You know what I mean? That's okay.
Yeah, there you go. Loomis drinks whiskey and she drinks fucking beer.
Also, let me ask you this. This is kind of something I've always thought about. So it's obviously implied, like, once we get, especially to the, after her death scene, after she finds Jimmy dead, which we're going to come back to her death scene in just a minute. But we get that Loomis lived with her. Like, her and Loomis lived together, and he kind of had his whole, like, obsession, Michael Myers hunting room. That was his man cave, was where he sits and, like, thinks about, like, trying to hunt Michael down. Which, I mean, I'm sure, listen, after that explosion, I'm sure he may have been down for the count. You know what I mean? I mean, he may have been, like, severely
so, like, it's not really playing a part of all the other movies and his burnt self and all that stuff. Like, it's just,
I mean,
like,
we don't survived, know.
But he's like down
he
bad.
He survived, but we don't know what he would have been. You know what I mean? I mean, who knows if it was just old age that she was taking care of him or what? But we know that she was with him. Do you think there was ever something going on between Loomis and... He was probably, in his 40s or so? And she was probably in her 30s when in the original movie? Like, do you think they were, like, together? Or did she just take care of him because they had already been through that and whatever? And
I think they just took care of her, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah. I could see that, too. I could see either way. Well, it's cool because her death, like, she finds Jimmy and he's like, oh, and he's got the freaking... I almost said the skate. I hate myself.
We got this.
He's got the rollerblade, or not the rollerblade, the ice skate. Help me. He's got the ice skate in his face, and it's funny because he's rocking too. Like,
the ice skating shoe, my guy. The shoe blade, whatever the fuck it is.
You know what I mean? He's sitting there rocking in the chair.
Bro, that means that kill was fucking fresh then.
Yeah.
Because there ain't no way he's pushing that thing by himself. That he just got hit with the force. Like, he just died.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because like she goes to run out the door, the body falls in, and then Michael steps around, and it's the Halloween 6 mask. That's the other thing about this movie, is you have to think about the saga of every different mask that they could ever possibly think of. It's the Halloween 6 mask when he walks in and grabs the knife. Then we see the H2O mask. And then we see the Halloween 6 mask again. Like, it just, like, goes back and forth, like, randomly. Like, there's certain random sequences where the mask looks different.
I feel like when you're given the project,
it looks different again.
I feel like when you're given the next, like, Halloween project, I feel like they just give you a box filled with all the masks throughout the year. So I'm like, pick one.
Surprise. Yeah. Or if your H2O's case, though, they couldn't pick one. They couldn't decide on one. There's actually, like, and it came out pretty recently, like, I think within the last couple of years, there's video, and it's probably on YouTube now, where, like, there is it's like a VHS, classic looking video that has them trying on different masks, and, like, there were even more masks than what they had. It was basically like a Halloween City or a Spirit Halloween in there, because they were just like, let's go with this one and this one and this one and this one.
It was a Halloween City, but primarily only for the movie.
Oh, so J-Dead actually does think that Loomis and Marion were something. He said that Loomis was giving her that good D.
That PhD.
They're in the middle of, like, making out.
What if Dr. Loomis is like? What if Dr. Loomis is like just like saying, "Call me Michael" or something like that when they're doing it? That's so fucking weird. But I love how you're laughing at it, but it's low-key kind of weird.
That's gross. That's pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, the whole opening is great. It's a really cool opening, and we're introduced to Laurie for the first time, who is now going by Carrie Tate. Carrie Tate.
That name doesn't hit well.
It really doesn't. I never really liked the name. And we kind of glazed over. They do the whole Loomis thing in the it's a cool intro, like the whole where it's like it's going through all of his like papers and like of different killings throughout the years.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like,
and it's a different voice actor. It's Tom Kane.
Yeah, it's Tom Kane, which is funny because he does a decent job, but it doesn't deliver the same way as Donald Pleasance did. He's very like, I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left, no reason, no conscience, no understanding.
Yeah, I'm trying to
like it's very like he says it like tenderly instead of like, I'm scared this guy's gonna kill people. Like, like heat of the moment.
Let me see. Who does he voice? He voiced Yoda, which is cool.
Really?
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
He voiced the Powerpuff Girls, which is weird.
Oh.
I'm just saying, if old boy, what's his name? What's his name? Blonde-haired Michael Myers.
Oh, Ben Tramer?
Yeah, Ben Tramer can get a mask. Loomis can get a mask. Say that right now. Just saying.
Gross. Oh, gross.
He probably brushes the hair just like you do.
Gross. If you're listening on Spotify, you didn't get to see that comment. You'll have to go over to YouTube and check it out. We're 42 minutes in. So yeah, but we get introduced to Carrie Tate, and there's kind of another interesting question that I wanted to pose, and especially if you're listening right now or if you're listening after the fact, let us know, because when we're introduced to Laurie and we're introduced to John, she's having the nightmare. She's screaming. She's got her. She's sitting in bed screaming or whatever. She's having her nightmare, and she is very obviously, and it kind of hits the ground running with the fact that she's an alcoholic, a closeted alcoholic, and she is also a closeted
functioning alcoholic.
She's a functioning alcoholic, and she's also a functioning pill popper. She's Josh Hartnett opens up her medicine cabinet, and it's just pill bottles like all the way through. So she, she's obviously got her issues, but she's hiding it. She's faked her death, and she is the head of the prep school or whatever. Now, it's fine. I don't know why they decide. I guess they were going for something new.
Which, by the way, I'm slightly confused with the fact that like she faked her death, created a new identity, applied to be a headmaster at a school. A headmaster position is not an easy position to get. It's not like being a line cook at Wendy's, like you have to go through background checks.
Nothing
which
against
even now at a Wendy's you have background checks. Yeah. So I'm a little like that's a big plot hole in regards to like how she got that job. She's probably just given that good pee with Will Arkin or whatever his name is.
Adam Arkin.
Yeah, Adam Arkin.
The character's name is Will.
Yeah, maybe she's giving that good shit to Will, but like again, how she got that job, I don't know, because you can't fake your death and all of a sudden become a headmaster.
Yeah.
So I'm saying,
I don't know. Maybe, and you could maybe even think like maybe it was a witness protection thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you're probably fucking right. God, fuck. Okay, whatever.
Maybe Loomis helped her.
You think witness protection would like just fake her own? Well, yeah, it makes sense. If it went through like Halloween 2, yeah, I would fake your death because they blew Michael up.
I always thought, and I kind of wish that they would have done this with Halloween 2018, like
she faked her death.
I think they missed an opportunity to explore, like, what if Loomis became her psychiatrist after, like, she's got all these issues, she's got PTSD, she's traumatized. what if Loomis became her psychiatrist? Like, you could have done that, and you couldn't have shown it, but we could have talked about it in H2O. We could have talked about it in Halloween 2018, but we didn't. We just kind of like never really talked about Loomis again until the flashback in Halloween Kills, and until the opening where we kind of gave the little nod to Loomis in the opening of H2O, but we never really explored Loomis again other than that, and like explored.
Yeah, it's more like an Easter egg.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like there was an opportunity to do that. But J-Dead's kind of already answering the question in the chat. Do you think that they portrayed which version of traumatized PTSD Laurie do you like better? Do you like this Carrie Tate version in Halloween H2O where she's popping pills and she's an alcoholic? Or do you like the version in 2018 where she's also an alcoholic and she's also popping pills, but she also has turned into badass Sarah Connor and she's got like booby traps and guns stashed everywhere around her house?
Well, you saw when Laurie found in this movie, when Laurie found out Michael was back, she immediately just whipped around and grabbed that revolver. Like she was like, I'm overthinking, like, is there a difference to like depict? I'm just saying.
What do you mean? No, I think there is a difference. This Laurie was scared. She didn't want to. She was trying to run. You know what I mean? It's not until the end of the movie.
Axe and gave us that really dope shot. Like, I don't know.
That was a dope scene. We'll come back.
They're pretty similar, if you ask me.
They're similar, but I still think there's a big difference though, because like this Laurie wanted him, like the 2018 timeline, this new trilogy, she wanted him to escape. Like, she was hoping that he would escape so that she could kill him.
Yeah,
this H2O Laurie
Strode was
to escape it all. You know what I mean? Yeah,
this Laurie Strode was like a leftist Californian, while Halloween 2018 was like a conservative, right-winged, gun-loving nut. Like that's the polar opposites. Is like, that's the best.
Well, and she's kind of built like Carrie Tate from H2O has kind of built she's built this like she's built the persona, like you said. It's more of a hidden. Her trauma is hidden. She doesn't tell anybody. Mm-hmm. She doesn't talk. I mean, her son knows, obviously, mm-hmm. but she doesn't, like, she tells Will at the end of the film when he's on top of her and he's just trying to get her over the couch.
What a weird time to express your trauma.
I know, right?
Kind of dampens the
mood. Or like, but the 2018 Laurie is basically the old woman up the street who has 40 cats and is crazy. You know what I mean? Like there's a very, I think the difference.
Not 40 cats. 40 gacks.
40 Glocks.
Yeah.
I think the difference is kind of the not the strength, because they both have strength, obviously, but it's in like the wanting
how each other handled the trauma,
wanting to confront your fear versus mm-hmm. wanting to run away from your fear. You know mm-hmm. what I mean? They're both going to have to. It's just a matter mm-hmm. of like the lead up to that moment. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I think they both did it well. I think
you say it as if they're both different actors. It's the same woman.
Honestly, I think that if you think about the original Laurie Strode character from the first two movies, she was sweet. She was the girl next door. She had strength to her, but she's also very academic, very studious. It's hard to imagine her becoming the cold, closeted lady that totes the guns and the explosives and the booby traps in her house and all that stuff in 2018. Like the school thing, like becoming a principal and becoming a teacher and doing all that stuff, like that almost speaks more Laurie Strode to me than. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that like make sense?
So you like the H2O version of Laurie Strode, not the 2018.
I wouldn't even say I
like. No, not like you felt like it was more true to the original. It made more sense for her to like be like the H2O than the 2018.
I would think so, yes, because there's still that inner strength. She's still going to step up to the plate when it's necessary, but she's not seeking him out. You know what I mean? She doesn't want him to come back. Even if she knows
life sucks and doesn't go out the way you want. So
Well,
okay.
and it's cool because you kind of get the I do too, and you kind of get the recreation of the scene, like when John and Molly, and Charlie and Sarah are in they're in class and Laurie's teaching them whatever, and it goes back to like that original classroom conversation about fate and how fate never changes and blah 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 blah, and like when Laurie looks out the window and sees him standing there. And of course, they switch it to Molly because we have to be meta and we have to show the same things. When she looks out the window and he's like, hello. And he's like standing there looking through the bars or whatever. But like, you at least got that scene. Like, we get and, you know, Molly's talking about like Laurie asks her a question and she says, you know, like about having to confront your fate and you have to run towards it and not away from it. And, you know, all that stuff. And like, you see her like pondering that, you know, in her brain. Like she, you know, so you do kind of get that a little bit with the character. But I mean, I think it's cool. It's definitely a good version of a PTSD ridden, you know, damaged character that's kind of closeted. So I think they did a good job showing that. One thing we kind of glossed over was the bathroom scene, which is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, when the mom and the little girl show up to the bathroom and the women's is locked. So they go to the men's or whatever. And they're, you know, she hands her the tissues under the stall and she's singing. I don't even know what song she's singing, but she's singing and the door slams and she's like, Mommy. And she says, it's okay. It's just the wind. And Michael walks past her and the mom's like, and she starts to get scared or whatever. And it's funny because like, he grabs her purse and he goes to walk by, but instead of walking by, like he walked by and he goes, he's got to give it a little side glance, like, I just need your purse, but I'll leave you alone. Your daughter sings pretty. Goodbye. Like, and then he leaves, you know what I mean? And he steals their car. But that's actually a pretty tense scene, you know?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he ran away because the daughter's shit was probably so smelly. She's like, fuck, I'm deadly. Fuck.
He said that's deadly. That's diarrhea. I gotta go.
Yeah, I gotta go.
What'd you get? You got her what? Bojangles, Wendy's, Taco Bell? What'd you get?
Okay. But yeah, nevertheless, he really did just, I don't know what Michael is like. He's just a menace, like, at this point. Not only does he kill, but this man is literally a GTA 5, like, you know, character. Like, he steals cars left and right.
Well, he steals cars, and like, let's be honest, he's not scary in this movie. There's no point in this movie where I actually think he's scary. I think he's
a killer.
Like you said, he's almost more of a menace. There doesn't like in the original, even he has this like weird. He's a stalker. He's sitting there watching you from the shadows. This Michael was more like, I don't want to hurt you, just don't get in my way. You know what I mean? And it's nothing against. I forget the gentleman who played him. Let me find it. Let me go to IMDb. Crap. What is his name? I forget. All cast and crew.
Which Michael did you feel was the scariest in the franchise?
Are you kidding me? Is Michael not correct? Oh, Chris Durand. There we go. Yeah, I knew that. Chris Durand. Which do I think is the scariest?
Yeah.
Not this one.
That's not the right answer, but I mean, sure.
I don't know. The actual one that I'm I would be the most scared of, probably Rob Zombie's. Tyler Mane is.
Yeah.
Listen, you can hate the Rob Zombie films if you want, and especially you can hate H2 if you want, but that hospital scene in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, he is absolutely horrifying in that scene. Like,
yeah,
when he the scene when he walks around the corner and Octavia Spencer is standing there and like she's all cut up and he turns his head and like when he's stabbing her, like, bro, he is scary in that scene. Like, that's a legitimately, like, kind of makes you uncomfortable to watch it. I mean, he's brutal. He kind of moves quickly. Like, I don't know. He's scared. I would hate to go up against him the most, you know? At least the
that
the
one
Halloween.
you would need to find the infinite bazooka.
Yeah. That'd be. We were talking about Resident Evil earlier. That would take the rocket launcher.
He's the rocket launcher.
He's the boss battle where you would need the infinite rocket launcher.
That's. I feel like didn't I ask the question like I could see Michael Myers. Could you imagine Michael Myers? Like he's probably more of like a menace than like Mr. X.
I disagree with that.
You think so?
Mr. X was literally a BOW. Like.
But Michael's damn near superhuman.
Yeah, but he's still a person, though. Mr. X superhuman, is not a person.
I'm just saying.
I don't know.
Very similar. You could literally put Michael Myers in place of Mr. X, and it'd be just as scary. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
Like okay, I'm talking about the Rob Zombie one.
I could see that.
Yeah.
You realize Tyler Mane is who plays Sabretooth.
Yeah, he's fucking
right?
ripped.
He's built. Well, not only is he ripped, he's like 7'6". Like he's huge. He's freaking massive. I mean, like even in some of those scenes, like he has to duck going in doorways in a couple of those scenes.
Yeah,
like
it's fucking unit.
It's pretty wild, man. So yeah, I think I'd be the most scared of him. But I don't know. Chris Durand did okay. Like it's nothing against Chris Durand himself. I don't really even know what else he's done. But I think part of it was the mask, because the mask, the eyes are freaking like googly eyes. And like every time you see Michael, he's not just like just kind of looking at you with like dead eyes. He's very like, I ate cereal for breakfast. Like I don't know, it's very strange. And his eyes are
like he's trying to emphasize like the crazy in him, but like you can't. He's crazy because like you can't see his emotions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it would be, if his eyes were blacked out, he would be scarier. Even some of the ways he moves, like at the end when he grabs Molly, when John and Molly are running away after they find Charlie and Sarah dead, and like he grabs Molly, Josh Hartnett grabs the rock and like punches him in the face with the rock. He stabs Josh Hartnett in the leg, and then when the two of them run away, like I don't know, he goes to turn around and he's very like, hit me baby one more, like he's just, it's very strange. Like he turns around and he's very like, oh hello, oh, and he just like goes to like, I don't know, it's got a strange like his mannerisms, it doesn't quite match up, even with the some of the walking, like even like seeing him walk through some of the corridors and stuff like that when our commentary is out now, by the way, and Miguel laughed hysterically when Lori hits him with the fire hydrant or the fire extinguisher. And it's funny because he just sits up and he's
because
like it's like you picture like the birds, like Tweety Bird, like going around his head. After she hits him, because he just kind of sits up and he's like, oh, wait a minute, I have to go. Like, you know what I mean? But he just kind of has like this, like he's almost walking around doing the creep type deal, like as he walks. So I don't know, it's not my favorite.
Also my man's over here rocking like a 5 head, and it's like so awkward. You know what I mean? You could drive a car a mile away on his forehead alone, and it just doesn't look intimidating. And it looks like he's wearing like beige like eyeshadow around his eyes because the eyes are so huge.
It's
like, strange, bro, like just do some Batman shit and just paint it black. Like I don't know what to fucking tell you, man.
Paint it black.
It just wasn't all that well. I didn't really like it. I didn't like that. I didn't like this Michael Myers costume.
And honestly, I think the mask itself is okay. Like it's actually, I think the mask I want to get next. The mask is okay. It's just they needed to black out the eyes. If the eyes would have been blacked out, it would have been like a completely different story. You know?
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, not a completely. It wouldn't have been great. I will say we'll kind of save the rest because we're gonna rank them at some point. But I think he's my least favorite Michael Myers of the franchise.
This one?
That's one thing I would put Resurrection over this one. I think the Resurrection.
I'd say Ben Framer's probably my worst Michael Myers.
Well, that's not really Michael Myers. I think that the Resurrection Michael is better than the H2O Michael. I think he's scarier.
This one had eyebrows too, which is so fucking weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's odd.
It's like, don't give my man emotions. Like,
Yeah.
please.
Speaking of Michael Myers, he's in the chat. He says, "What's up, fellas? What's on, man? Where or what's going on? What's on?
What's on, my man? Yo, why'd they draw eyebrows on your face, man?
Oh, we were just talking about you, Mikey.
I must say, yeah. Now that I think about it, the mask looks all right, but it's just it had to be blacked out. Because look at this, man.
Yeah, I know. Like, it doesn't look that bad.
No,
the mask doesn't look too terrible, just like that. But it's when you just see it. When you see this, it's just like it's like,
yeah,
whoa.
look at that. That's pretty, that's pretty scary.
Bro, yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
I don't know. It's okay. Well, and then you get like in the thumbnail, like this mask, which is not the H2O mask. And what the hell is that? That ain't it. That ain't it.
It looks like his face is painted.
Yeah, it's very odd. Yes, it looks like it's face paint. You're right.
Yeah,
it really does. So yeah, I don't know, man. He's not my favorite, but you know, we kind of get to the middle of the film, and I think the middle of the film drags a little bit. The whole, I'm going to Yosemite, like when they're trying to take the class trip to Yosemite.
Oh yeah. By the way, with oh boy, with the son of Lori, did we discuss about who the father was?
We never know. It could be Ben Tramer.
It was Ben Tramer. 100%.
We'd like to think. Well, no, it was not Ben Tramer.
Who was it?
Because H2 is still in the timeline in this, and Ben Tramer got annihilated. So
she was probably pregnant.
She didn't get with high school Lori?
Yeah.
No way.
I don't know. I have to do the math, and I'm too tired to do it right now. So,
unless he came back from the dead and said, "Let me lay this D one time before I burn to death,"
yeah,
which I sincerely doubt. We're just gonna. We're just gonna. If you're watching with us right now, we're just gonna ignore the fact that you just said that.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're watching with us, leave the show a like, please. That'll help us out a whole lot. So yeah, and I will say I like the scene. Like some of the stuff at the school drags on. I do like the scene just before they go to leave for Yosemite, when Charlie and Josh. I keep wanting to say Josh. Charlie and John want to keep going, or they want to go steal some booze. They go to steal a bottle of wine or whatever, and they're like, they're going to get a little off-campus lunch, and they run into Lori and Will after they just had lunch, which Lori's trying to talk to him about it, but Will's like, I'm a really good listener, meaning I want you. So I'm gonna listen. So he's like,
if you're out on the streets, that's the universal word for I'm trying to get inside that, bro.
They're having a conversation, and she's trying to say things, but like the two kids like throw each other up against the glass, and he's got the sheath or whatever, not the sheath.
Yes, the seek,
whatever that's called. And she's kind of like, she's jumping and stuff, and it's funny because she drinks her glass of wine. Like she waits till Will gets up to go to the bathroom, and she drinks her glass of wine, and then's like, can I get another? And the guy looks at her glass, and she goes, today. And he's like, oh. And he goes to get her another glass of wine. She chugs a couple glasses. And then
wait, what'd she do again? She chugs. Okay, there you go.
She
screen grab that guy.
Me. But she drinks her wine, and that's when she sees Charlie and John out on the street, and it's funny because she's like, she's like, well, she sees him. It's like she stays calm. She's like, John, Charlie, what are you doing? And he's like, we just decided to go get a little off-campus lunch. And she's like, you're not allowed to have a little off-campus lunch, John. And she goes.
I love how she started like very welcoming, and then just got really Karen right there.
Well, she's like, Charlie, go get in the car. And she hands him the keys. And it's like, she's calm. And then it's like, bam. And she's like, what the fuck were you thinking? And it's like, she just snaps and goes like full on, like he said, like full on Karen. And John's even like, whoa. But that's when we get the whole, Michael Myers is dead. It's like, bro, you're overacting. Stop. Calm down.
Like, bro,
comb your hair. Comb the back of your
right?
hair. That's just
Bro,
like...
my man was rocking a cowlick in the back of his head, and I was like, bro, someone get him a brush.
It's like he took a
that's
brush
like,
and like lifted up the back of his head.
yeah, I
know?
feel like he showed up late to set for his shots, and the director was like, you know, it works. Sure, go with it. You look more like you look like a kid that doesn't care about school.
Yeah.
You know, just keep your shirt untucked, you know, tie your tie terribly, and just have a Cadillac hairdo, and you'd be all right. There you go. That's the 90s attire for, you know, the rebel. So
they get back, and we didn't even talk about Ronnie. We didn't talk about LL Cool J at all.
I know the disrespect.
He's sitting there, and
bro, he wants to be a erotica author.
He wants to write the next 50 Shades, dude. That's what he wants,
bro. And hey, he got some good music out there, so he could do a good job. I'm just saying.
Well, and it's funny because his wife is like, "I need you to be serious." Like, she's like, "I need you to be serious about this, baby." And he's sitting there like talking to her, whatever. And it's funny because they get back, and Lori's like, "Ronnie, where were you when these two got out?" And he goes, "She's like, eyes up, Ronnie." He won't even make eye contact with her.
Yeah, for someone that writes a bunch of like erotic books, he's very submissive. I'm just saying. Just saying. But nevertheless, yeah, LL Cool J was perfect for that.
And he was a good character too. He had like a lot of the comic relief in the film. Mm-hmm. J-Dad says, can we talk about how LL Cool J is in the movie and they didn't use Mama Said Knock You Out on the soundtrack when Lori started fighting my heart? Could you imagine if one of his songs started like as soon as they start like battling, like duking it out? That'd be hysterical. That'd be awesome.
Bro, yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then when we talk about Resurrection with Busta Rhymes and Michael Myers, like, can't wait to talk about that. It's fucking great.
Well, and it's funny. There's that something else we forgot to even mention. Now that I think about it, was Janet Leigh, who played Marion Crane in Psycho. Jamie Lee Curtis's mother is in the movie. She's her secretary. She's awkwardly watching as Will goes in and they slam her office door and Will throws her up against the wall, which is just all kinds of awkward. And
bro, literally like 5 minutes after she said there will be no funny business on this trip. It's like, bro, you fucking hippo. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. But there's a cool Psycho reference because when the kids leave to go to Yosemite, and they leave to go to Yosemite, and Janet Leigh actually bumps into Lori, and they kind of have a little conversation. She's like, but she has to drop your favorite line from the franchise, which is the original bracket line. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare.
Yeah, fuck her. I'm glad she didn't survive the shower scene.
Oh my gosh. But it's cool because she not only is she in the movie, but she is also driving. Like when she walks to her car and the camera pans, it's the same blue car that she was driving in Psycho. So that's just kind of a cool reference to the movie. And it's funny.
Like I said, she could still be like her mother too, because it's not like Michael killed off her parents in the last two movies.
Yeah. Well,
like,
it's funny. Kevin Williamson, he even said like it's weird because it's almost like Halloween H2O is like Scream was like Psycho influenced Halloween and Halloween influenced Scream, but Scream was super hot at the time, so H2O had to kind of reflect Scream. Yeah. But they also wanted to throw Psycho in. Like it's just kind of a weird like trio, you know what I mean? Of like films meta. Having to like super meta. So that was kind of a cool little nod. And kind of the meat and potatoes of this is that last half hour, 40 minutes of the movie where the kids are gone. John and Charlie and Sarah and
also the killings were
Michelle Williams here and Molly.
Until it started.
Yeah, there really weren't.
Like this movie really like just slow was like really slow until the first killing happened. Yeah. Like, okay, now we're picking up. Uh-huh. Yeah, but also we had Jason Gordon-Levitt's death, and then who else died after that?
Even though that was an off-screen death, Marion died.
Yeah, after Marion died, like there was no killing.
Yeah, which are the two worst cops I've ever seen. The cops are literally standing on the porch as Michael is slitting her throat in front of a picture window next door, and they're like, "I don't see anything." Like, bro, look to your left. Like, read the room.
Like, bro,
be aware of the scene. At least there wasn't any boom like in H20.
I almost wish they did.
In Halloween 5.
I almost wish they did, man. Like, if I'm being honest,
Of all the things they could have put a nod to.
That should have been like that should have been like a horror trope, if I'm being honest. Like, you know how
Right.
always off the sheriffs, deputies, and cops in like horror movies are just such bumbling idiots. That should have been like a horror trope where like anytime a cop shows up, I could see that. I think it's pretty cool. I think that's a great trope.
Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb in Halloween 5. It like takes you out of the movie completely.
As if I wasn't already out of the movie.
It's only like 20 minutes in.
Yeah, I was 10 minutes. I was like 10 miles out of the movie by like minute 5.
Well, and then we get the classic scene, which I love this scene. I think it's hysterical. Will's doing his rounds. He's He's trying to like just check out on the Hillcrest remains. And he walks in and they're getting ready to sneak out. He walks in or he knocks on the door and they're like, come in. And he knocks on the door and he's like, ladies, just checking in on the Hillcrest remains. How are we doing? And they're like, well, we thought we'd have a good old date rape evening, go roofie some guys' drinks, whatever. And he's like, oh, nice.
Damn,
and,
Cardi B, fuck.
Well, and she's like, would you care to join us? And he goes, no, I can't. I'm actually having my nipples pierced. It's like, dude, that's a cool guy. Like, that's a cool teacher. That's a cool teacher to have.
Wait, he's the psychologist. He's the counselor.
Are you? Well, yeah, he's the counselor, so that's true.
So
that's
he's heard it all. He's heard all the shits.
I'm actually having my nipples pierced.
You know what's even more fucked
up?
Like,
whoever wrote that was actually pretty funny. I like that.
Yeah, what's more fucked up is like I could see it. I could see him doing it, in the movie. Like he sounded like that type of person.
Oh.
Yeah, he's weird like
you
that.
You went there. You just went
weird.
There.
Yeah.
Gross.
Bro, if he was
making this awkward.
If he was willing to bend over Laurie Strode in the headmaster office, yeah, he's a freak. And if he was willing to keep a hard on after Laura's still talking about her trauma, yeah, that's a freak. I'm just saying.
Well, it's funny because we get they meet each other when Laurie is walking out of her office and it's dark and she thinks she sees Michael off in the distance, but he like catches her off guard and he's like, I thought I would like to spend the evening with you. And she's like, yeah. But she's looking at Michael and Michael's gone. He goes to kind of look for him and he doesn't see Michael at all. Which that's kind of another cool scene when she's going like she like is trying to see if it's like real or not, like if she's actually like just imagining it or if it's real, and she keeps like opening and shutting her eyes and like rubbing her eyes, and Michael is still walking towards her until Will gets in between them, and she's kind of looking over his shoulder or whatever. But she goes back to her house and she drinks, she chugs like half a bottle of vodka.
Bro, she poured that vodka in her cup like it was goddamn Aquafina. Like
she annihilated that bottle of vodka before he walked in. And then they're sitting there, they're trying to get freaky, and suddenly she's like, I'm going to tell you the truth. she tells the whole story about Judith and Michael and what he did. And it's funny because she's like, what does she say? She's like, he killed my sister. My brother killed my sister with a really big kitchen knife. Or whatever like that. It's kind of awkward. It's strange.
He's like, bro, that's cool.
But well, and he keeps kissing her neck and stuff. It's like, bro, stop for a minute. Like, do you hear what she just said? Yeah. Like, she's saying her family like was murdered by her brother, and this is weird. And
hey, all I'm saying is the streets never sleep, so you gotta keep
the thing that made him stop kissing her was when he's like, and what happened to her or whatever, and she's like, she's now the headmistress of an extraordinary whatever acclaimed prep school in Southern California, and he's like, oh, it's you. And it's like it hits him and he's like, oh. And she's like, now do you want a drink? And he's like, yeah. But it's cool. What did you think of Charlie and Molly's deaths?
The first two, like in that big old like gap.
Yeah. Well, actually Charlie dies first, but his is more of an off-screen death because Molly goes to. Well, is it off screen? Am I forgetting?
Molly's is probably the worst, if I got to be honest.
Oh, Molly's is bad. Yeah.
Yeah. That shit hurt.
How does Charlie die? Maybe
if you guys are scared of elevators, you have an irrational fear of elevators. Yeah, don't watch this movie. It's pretty fun.
I don't like elevators. I don't. Never been a
Sorry,
fan.
you watch this movie then, because
Well, it's funny
like
because
everyone's worst fear.
She sees him and he's slashed or whatever, and she sees Michael. She goes to climb in. Well, the thing that gets me though is her leg. Oh gosh, her leg.
Yeah, it gets roughed
like
up.
her leg gets caught, but her leg gets like severed. Like it's hanging on by like a thread, and she's dragging it or whatever. And what's cool about her death too is once John and Molly find her, you know, they're like, this is a sick joke or whatever, and the blood's all kind of on the floor or whatever, and they see her and she's hanging from the light and the light's flickering, and so you just see like her silhouette like dangling from the ceiling. That's pretty dope. That was a cool shot.
It's good to see. It's good to see Michael still, you know, got a thing for theatrics.
He's got art.
You know,
he's
20
artsy,
years,
right? He's still artsy. Yeah. Well, and it's cool because like he even steps out, like they see her and they get like, holy crap or whatever, and he just like steps out from the shadows, and it's like that was a cool Michael moment. Like that's a cool classic Myers moment right there. And we kind of talked about I got to keep getting a drink. My mouth is dry. The chase scene once he gets them to, he's chasing them. We didn't get to the classic. She drops the keys and she's got a Lori the keys moment when they're like trapped in between gates, like they can't get in, but Michael's like coming and they can't get out, and he's like slashing the knife at them and whatever else. And it's funny because he looks down and he's like, oh, but and he like grabs the keys and he's like fumbling trying to open it or whatever, but he can't. And it's like the minute he opens it, Lori opens the door, and that's when we get that shot. But unfortunately,
bro, it doesn't look like they're looking at each other.
Does it not?
No. It's so shitty.
Well, unfortunately, that shot is ruined because all you see is.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It looks like he's like, I got cataracts. I can't see. Is it you? Sis, is it you? Like his eyes are so like.
It looks like he's wearing like a coconut milk like face mask, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like that's what it looks like. And it's so weird, and it's like already hardened and shit, and he's gotta like pull it off. Like it's like it just
odd.
looks weird.
Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's very.
It's like this is spa day Michael Myers. If I'm being completely honest, yeah. I could say that because his hair is like all fluffed up and shit. He's got the coconut milk face mask. Like, yeah, he just looked weird.
It didn't look good, but that's a cool scene. And then she grabs the gun and looks up, and he's gone. And it's like, wow, that's actually pretty dope. He's gone. And she does have to drop the whole line. Who was that? What's going on? My brother. It's like, come on. Like, why? Why? You could come up with a better line than my brother.
Yeah.
So she limps. She gets them in the closet, and it's funny because she loads the gun, and Will gets behind Lori. Like, you got the gun. You know what I mean? And they accidentally shoot Ronnie, which is kind of.
Wait, no, yeah. Will takes the gun.
Oh yeah, he does. He takes the
gun.
I got that wrong. He takes control.
Yeah.
And he takes control and literally fires.
He literally said to himself, he says, if I kill Michael, I'm getting piped tonight. But unfortunately, chooses the wrong guy. And shoots my man LL Cool J.
And then he got piped.
Yeah.
Michael did that nurse thing where he picks him up.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool.
You know, that was a cool callback to Halloween too. And it's funny because Lori didn't even bat an eye. She really didn't. She was just kind of like, and ran. And ran to go get John.
Did not even cry whatsoever.
She cried for LL Cool J. She didn't even really cry for Will. She didn't. Which, to be fair, Michael is standing right there. So it's like you can't take the time to show a ton of emotion because you got to go. Like he's standing right in front of you. But she gets John. We have the moment that you laughed your butt off with where she hits him with the sledgehammer. Well, they have a moment, right? Doesn't she go to swing for him or something? I don't know. I could be forgetting. It kind of runs together after a while. But like, I think she goes swinging for him. She runs and gets John, and from the closet, they take off. And that's when they have the really cool moment where they finally get in the car, and Michael's walking towards them, and she can't get the car started until
That's
she
the usual
finally
horror
like
trope, too.
even that's definitely a normal horror trope. But she I guess she can't get it started. She's sitting there trying to get it to turn over, and it's funny because even he goes over, like even when he gets to the window of the car, he's like, "Woof, hello," like, and his eyes are so wide, and he's just like, "Oh, hello," looking in the car.
Michael definitely takes some
very
speed
strange.
before every shot he shows.
Yeah,
in.
he
Every
looks
scene
like
not
he's
in,
on,
he takes
like,
some speed.
He looks like he's on drugs.
Yeah,
His eyes are always really wide and really like, whoa, real super like Macho Man freak show.
Randy Savage.
You know what I mean? It's very strange. I got you for 3 minutes. Bonesaw. That's
he
how
calls
he is
himself
in the entire movie.
Bonesaw. Yeah.
Who is Michael? I'm now Bonesaw.
Wait, you know the meme? You know the meme? I forgot what it was. It was like a meme. It had Randy Savage and it was Michael Myers too. I forgot what that was from.
I don't remember.
I saw it. I think it was like
that's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you? Well, so they get away, and that's when we get the classic. This is actually one of my favorite moments, I think, in the franchise. And I would be fine if we had a moment in Halloween Ends that kind of mimicked this a little bit. When she tells John to go, she's like, "I'll be right behind you." She grabs the rock, smashes the. I don't know why she really smashed the gate. I don't really understand that. I guess she was trying to trap him in, but like, he has you. He's not going to leave. Like, he's not going to just like will it. Like, he's gone all this way to like find you. He's not just going to be like, never mind, bye. You know. So she smashes the gate, locking both of them in Hillcrest. And that's when she grabs the axe and she walks up to the gate. The music is starting to swell, and she goes,
"How about that? I don't think Michael was looking for Laurie in this movie either."
Oh, he was definitely looking for her in this movie. That's why he goes to Marion's house.
Oh yeah, true. Fuck
so, like,
me. Okay, yeah, you
find like the files on her because like he finds the Laurie Strode file and it's empty.
And
it's. The Loomis picture is there, and it's funny. I could see him looking through all of Marion's stuff, and he's like, he sees the Loomis picture, and he's like, ugh. he pushes it away, like moves.
He
like
flinches at the sight of Loomis.
It's like arch enemy.
He's probably like, around. "Oh yeah, that's the guy that blew me up." Fuck.
He's looking around. He goes, Dad. And he goes and looks around some more. But it is a cool moment when she's got the axe, and you just see like Hillcrest in front of her, like he could be anywhere, like on this campus, and she just screams Michael and starts walking. And it's funny because like the music is playing, she screams Michael more than one time. Like she's walking like in and out of buildings, going Michael, and just trying to find him. Like she wants him. That's the moment where her strength, like that inner strength, really comes to play. Like she realizes she has to face him. She wants to find him. Like
the ghost of Loomis like possessed her at that very moment.
You gotta do this. This is for Dr. Loomis.
This is for Dr. Loomis. Yeah. Oh my God.
So, but the fight between them is kind of cool. I mean, of course, we get the whole.
Bro, we got Michael Myers with the lats, bro. My man got fucking wings. If he could like just yoink and just like lower himself with just one
How is
arm.
that even like possible though,
bro?
Like think about the logistics of the pipe scene for
my man's doing pull downs, bro. He been
was
doing
his body like if this is the pipe, was his body vertical? Was it horizontal and he just had it lifted up? Like
my man was not lifting weights. My man was on calisthenics for like fucking years.
Well, that's what happens.
That's how I was able to get down there.
Cocaine.
When you do speed and cocaine and calisthenics, you're fucking unstoppable, man. That's all I got to say.
But he just like, and he's so calm about it too. He's just like, and I'm going to just lower myself down.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
And she turns around, she swings the axe. And it's funny because she swings the axe and hits him and he just goes, he doesn't even like jerk or act like it hurts. He's just like, oh. And he does his whole, whatever. I forget even what I was about to say. He does his whole thing and looks at her, and that's when they kind of start their fight. She stabs him. He just takes the axe out and drops it. And then we get the table scene where she's crawling under the tables and he's suddenly on top of a table, which I always thought was kind of strange. Like he's at the end of the room and then we pan to her and suddenly he's standing on the table. Like Jason in like the Friday the 13th reboot where he's on top of the house and it's like, what? Like, how did he get on the table? Like, what? Did he just like teleport on like, and he just like teleports places? But you know, that I think it's kind of a cool scene, like him walking on the tables and her crawling underneath. Like, I think it's different, but it's kind of like it's super meta at the same time though. Like when he starts like ripping the tables backwards and he's like, I'm done with this shit, you know what I mean? And he's kind of like you know what I'm talking about when he's pulling the tables up and she's crawling. It's like, bro, Lori, get up and run. Like he knows where you are. Like stop crawling and get on like your feet and run.
Mm-hmm.
But she gets the pole and stabs him. Like there's a couple of cool moments.
Like Lori's putting up a good fight. Like you gotta be honest.
She did put up a good fight, but I feel like it was kind of rushed. Like it was very like we've built up the whole movie to the fight scene, and then it's like, and it's over.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, and
I could pretty much
like there wasn't. Honestly, he didn't really do that much to her.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't really take any like hardcore wounds. Of like I think he hit her. Like he like backhand punched her like on the ground at one point. He did kind of throw her around a little bit, but like in Halloween 2018, Michael and Laurie legit like fought.
Yeah,
like
they were trying to kill each other.
Like actually like fist to fist, like not like punching, but like they had a little bit of like swinging on each other and like grabbing each other and pushing each other into the wall. Like, you know what I mean? Like the scene in her room when they have the gun and he cocks his head sideways and she pushes back and she takes her knife and goes to swing, which she like, you know, he takes her hand and makes her stab herself. Like there's an exchange between them. There wasn't that same exchange here in H2O. It's just kind of like she does something, runs away. She does something else and runs away. She does something else and then she runs away until finally she stabs him with the pole off of the balcony and he falls down, or she stabs him with the knife and he falls off the balcony, and that's when he's
laid out.
That's when he's laid out on the table, you know. And we just find out that Ronnie's alive. Ronnie goes to I never understood that either. It's like, Ronnie, dude, let her stab him in the face. like why? What, like because he grabs her and he's like, nope, he's dead, and he like wrestles like the knife off of her or whatever. It's like, bro, end him, cut his head off, like make like triple sure that this is not gonna happen again.
Yeah,
and Ronnie takes her away, which kind of leads us to where I was gonna go originally. So I pulled this from Wikipedia. This is from Wikipedia. It's kind of talking about Kevin Williamson and how this ending came to be, because the ending is cool. Like if you look at the ending in the context of H2O, it's cool. But if you look at the ending in terms of what they knew it was going to be behind the crew's back, it's not really cool. And I'll kind of explain what I mean in a second. So screenwriter-producer Kevin Williamson was involved in various areas of production. Although not directly credited, he provided rewrites and character dialogue and helped make alterations and sketches of the script. He also came up with the paramedic storyline that explained how Michael survived the ending, which was partially filmed the day after principal photography ended. Think about that.
I thought that was so stupid.
And later utilized in the film's sequel. The writers of Halloween H2O were left with a dilemma when Curtis wanted to end the series, but Mustafa Akkad had a clause that legally wouldn't allow the writers to kill Michael Myers off. That's how serious Mustafa Akkad was. There was a clause that said you literally are not legally allowed to kill the character off. Like, he has to survive.
That's literally like the whole like Vin Diesel and like Dwayne The Rock Johnson contract, where it's like they're literally not allowed to lose a fight.
Yeah. Well,
or it has to go into like a draw.
It's funny because like all of the, like, Jamie Lee Curtis, the cast and crew, they found out at the last minute that they were like, so the crew was like, so this is the last one, right? This is the last one, right? Right? And it's like, no, we're actually going to stay behind. They kept like a skeleton crew behind. Because
how many people do you think knew? It was like a small number too.
Oh, it was a small fraction of people that knew they were doing this. So after they wrapped on H2O, they stayed behind to film some of the paramedic stuff where Michael switches the mask and cuts his tongue out or whatever he does and stuff. And it's funny because according to the Blu-ray release by Scream Factory, Curtis almost left the project weeks before filming until Kevin Williamson came up with the paramedic storyline and presented it to Akkad. Curtis finally agreed to be part of the film under the condition that no footage hinting towards a sequel would be presented by the film and that the audience would believe that Michael was dead until the inevitable sequel was announced. Halloween Resurrection's first shot of Michael in the paramedic uniform was filmed the day after principal photography ended, according to H2O's editor Patrick Lussier. Bro, they filmed that literally the day after they wrapped H2O. They were like, so we're already gonna we have to plan out how he's gonna survive this. So they were like, they did everybody dirty, and they were like, look, here's how it's gonna work. He changed the mask. He put it on a paramedic. His mouth is, I forget if his mouth is taped or what exactly. I think he cut it. Something happened where he couldn't talk. And, but how dirty is that? It's like you think you're filming the ending of a movie, but you're really not. You're really filming something else. Like,
Jamie Lee Curtis thought this was going to be it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and that's why, like, and I don't blame her. Like, I don't say this in a disrespectful way at all, but like her performance at the beginning of Resurrection, like I feel like she's basically like, where's my paycheck? Like, that's basically, I think, why she did that first, like, 10 minutes in Resurrection, which is the best part of the movie, by the way. The best part of Halloween Resurrection is the opening. And I don't know. It's so like doing people dirty. You know what I mean? Doing your cast and crew dirty to like not tell them the truth about what you're doing. When they think this is the conclusion of the story and you're really using this to catapult into something else. It's just, and I always felt like what happens in Resurrection cheapens H2O, or at least the ending of H2O. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because
they had to use it to springboard off into something else. So I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know. It's interesting. JT's in the house. He says, I think that still exists. So that's why Halloween Ends has me worried and Michael will still be. Oh, the claws. Oh, you're saying the claws still exist. So they're like legally they can't kill Michael Myers.
That could be the case.
I don't know. I hope that's not
I was literally going to ask that question. Like, do you think there could be like a small crew that's like there after filming and they're like,
I don't know. Malik Akkad would know that. I'm not sure. That's interesting. I didn't even think about that until you said that, JT. Good call. I don't know. I hope. I know I might be in the minority on this, but like, I really want Michael to die. Like, I feel like the only way.
This is life. The contract states clearly Michael cannot die.
It's funny because I feel like they presented the script to like everybody up top and they were just like, read the fine print. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I hope I've already said this enough. I think Michael and Laurie should both die at the end of Halloween Ends. I feel like that's the only way to really end the original 1978 timeline. Like, I don't think we should ever play in that sandbox ever again. Ever. Like, don't leave the 1978 timeline alone. Don't ever do another film connected to that movie. Like, remake it. Again, I have my thoughts on how I would remake it, or like the direction I'd like to see it go. I know a lot of people do. Like, remake it, please. I would love to see another remake. But don't do any more. Like, no, yeah, Michael Myers, exactly. In the words of Loomis, it's time, Michael. Like, it legit, I think it is. Like, I think it's time to kill him off. At least this version, like the current James Jude Courtney 2018 version of him, kill him off. It's time. Like we don't need. I don't want him to like walk off into the woods or something dumb. Like no. Like I mean, and listen, if we come back and did a sequel to 2018, 5 years later, like, bro, what's he gonna be? 74? like how much? I mean, he's gonna have a cane walking around. Like what? How much longer can you push that? You know, even if he is supernatural, you can't have 90-year-old Michael just like, you know, like hobbling around. I don't know. JT says, honestly, I feel like if Lori dies, then I can consider her a final girl because technically she never killed Michael. That's interesting too. Interesting. She never defeated him. That's a cool thought too. Look at you coming up with all that stuff, man. That's awesome. The
Wait,
different
isn't Sally
things
a
that I
final
never
girl
thought
too?
about
Because Leatherface didn't die.
Well,
actually, she isn't considered a. She's not considered a final girl anymore.
Well, with that
after she got gutted like a fish.
Awful movie. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's an interesting thought. That'd be kind of a.
My girl got put into a blender.
Are you JT? Are you saying you you wouldn't be able to consider her a final girl? I think that's what you meant. Honestly, I feel like if Lori died, then I can consider her a final girl because technically she never killed Michael. That's true. I see. Can't. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's true because she. Here's the difference, though, Miguel. Is Sally didn't die. The original movie. I'm not talking about the Netflix garbage. Like the original context of the movie, Sally got away. But if Michael killed, that's a good point, JT. Really, really good point that I haven't heard anybody say yet. Like if Michael kills Lori, then she really isn't a final girl because he succeeded. He killed her. He got away and she didn't. So that's an interesting thought, man. I like it. I like it. So yeah, I don't know. The whole ending with Resurrection was, and what they were planning was pretty dirty. Do you like the decapitation thing? I think if you're gonna kill him, that's a good way to.
Boy, that decapitation scene was so fucking vicious.
The only weird thing is like
it sounded like you were biting into an apple the way she cut his head off. I was like, fuck.
It's cool the way he gets out of the body bag and sits up in the van and she drives out, or she sends him through the windshield and stuff like that. But like when the van rolls down the hill and he gets like pinned against the branch or whatever, it's funny because he reaches out his hand. And of course, you have to watch this not knowing about Resurrection. Like, that's what makes it so crappy is it's like, okay, well, the reason he reached out his hand was because he was a paramedic. But the one time I feel like his eyes actually looked good is because he's reaching out his hand like, Lori, like, you're my sister. But his eye, it's like your body says yes, but your eyes say no. You know what I mean? His body's like, Lori, you're my sister. He's reaching out to her, but his eyes, he's like.
It looked very out of place in my eyes.
It was very strange, which is why she almost snaps out of it and then off with his head and she decapitates him. And that's when we get the Halloween music starting again. So I don't know. It's a cool ending. It's a cool way if you're going to kill him. My thing I will say, people in the chat, how do you think they should kill him? If Michael, let's say Michael dies at the end of Halloween Ends. Michael dies. The character, like, definitively he dies. How do you think you kill him? Because I don't want to see him burn again. We've already let it burn. It's on my shirt. Other side. It's on my shirt. Let it burn. Like, we've already done that with Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Like, we've already done the decapitation thing in H20. Like, I'm going to be really mad if they just, like, shoot him. Like, if they shoot him or she just, like, stabs him in the chest. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, really? It's like, that's all it took. It's like, bro, did you see what the mob did to him? That was, like,
infinite
25
rocket
people.
Launcher.
Right? You got to get that Resident Evil. You got to get the infinite rocket launcher.
You gotta pull that.
It's like the final boss battle. You know what I mean? Michael Myers says we're tired of burning him. Got to go for the head. You got to pull a Thor. You got to go for the head. I agree. I think I would rather see him decapitated than burned again, because seeing him burned again is just like we just did this. Like, literally 1 movie ago, we just did this. And he made it out okay. So. I don't know. I wouldn't like to see him burned again. So Miguel, we just talked a lot about H2O. What is your rating of Halloween H2O as a Halloween movie? I know it's kind of hard to, for me at least, it's hard to rank these things as movies in general, just because I've seen them so many times and like thinking about it in terms of the franchise. But like as a Halloween movie, what's your rating compared to some of the others?
I give it like a 6.8.
That's fair. I think I'd give it a 7. I give it a 7. It's lacking a lot of the atmospheric and tonal things of a lot of the other Halloween
films. It's kind of hard to be
films.
scary in sunny California.
But like the California thing, like you could have set that anywhere. Like it didn't have to be in.
It could be in fucking Nebraska, and
well,
it'd be
not
much more
Nebraska,
scarier.
but like it could have been. It could have been in a different place. You could have put it in Chicago. You could have put it somewhere else in Illinois. You could have put it in Tennessee or Kentucky or anywhere that like still gets a fall. So you still have the fall Halloween atmosphere. You know what I mean? But it's like the minute we cut to California and it's like super green and it looks hot. I mean, it's like, this doesn't feel Halloween to me. You know, this feels different. It's got a very different tone. It's got the Scream tone going on. I mean, I think that's interesting. So, it's a good film. It is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites in the franchise. I'll say that. And I'm going to save it where it actually falls for our ranking, because we are going to rank these after Halloween. We're waiting until after Halloween ends. But we're, I like H2O. I always have. I am not excited to talk Resurrection. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm really not.
Bro, it's so bad whenever we did the commentary and he was like, kept like pulling up the minutes and he was like, 40 more minutes. It's like, bro, you're making the movie sound long now.
Well, I was legitimate. Like, it's the one in the franchise. Like, I skip over it. Like, I don't watch it in October. Like, I kept looking at how I was like 40 minutes left. 25 minutes left, and Miguel was like, would you shut the hell up, because it was like getting annoying. But it's something about it, man. I can't do it. Michael Myers, before we go, he says, or they use a wood chipper. Ooh, a wood chipper. That's getting pasty right there.
I love how it said cut them to peace, like the peace sign. So like, yeah.
JT says, lead him to the Myers house because that's easy, and once he's there, pay homage to all of the ways he has died in other movies, and Laurie and Allison attack him, stab him, cut his head off, and burn that effing house down. Yeah, man. That could be cool. Maybe that's why it didn't work. Maybe he has to burn in the Myers house. Maybe that's why. I think here's the reason I say Laurie should die with him. I think.
What is it, like a fucking bullshit Horcrux thing?
If you look at all of the other
girl who survived, come back.
I think it goes back to the fate thing. Like, what was that? Voldemort would not be scary if he went.
Have you not seen those TikToks?
No.
Like they grab something so small, it's like someone smells this, and they're like,
bro, this completely off subject. Jules and I were cracking up last night. There was a video of it's the final Deathly Hallows movie where Hagrid's holding Harry and he's dead, and like Voldemort's got his army, and it's like Voldemort's army and then all of the Hogwarts like Dumbledore's army people, and they're like standing there, and Voldemort's laughing, but it's Voldemort laughing, but this like the dub of different languages, like if you're watching like the German copy or the Vietnamese copy or the Japanese copy, and it's funny because like Voldemort, when he's like Harry Potter is dead and he's like laughing or whatever, it's funny because the laughing, it's like the German version, he's like and then it'll cut to the Japanese version. He's like, oh, yo, yo. It's just like it was going through like different versions of him laughing. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. It was hysterical. We were cracking up.
I would not want to watch that. I would get so fucking annoyed by the laughing, because just the original laughing itself is so fucking annoying.
It's funny, man. JT says the reason I don't think she's going to die is because on her Instagram story on her last day, she passed by a sign that said leaving the town of Haddonfield. The reason I don't think she's going to... So you don't think Laurie's going to die? That's interesting. What if neither of them die? See, if neither of them dies, though, if neither one of them dies, I think that's too open-ended. That's too what we just talked about with the we're filming Halloween Ends, but we know there's going to be a Halloween Begins. Like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. It's like, dude, why? It's too open-ended. It's too it's too ambiguous of an ending, you know? Like, I want it to be like, nope, that was it. That was the definitive, that was the end. That's how it ends. So, I don't know. Interesting enough. Hour and 45 minutes in, guys. I think that's going to do it for this episode of Purely and Simply Evil. We have officially got one episode left. Rot was the wrong card. The season finale of season 1 of Purely and Simply Evil. We are talking the atrocity that is Halloween Resurrection. This Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern, we'll be live at 10 a.m. talking Resurrection. Our full commentary for Halloween Resurrection drops on Thursday night. I think it's Thursday night at 8 p.m. I'll double check. Drops Thursday night, so you can prepare for that episode, watch Resurrection, and then join us Saturday at 10 a.m. and we'll chat about it just like we did with H2O. You can follow us.
Probably gonna be our quickest one.
I'm not gonna lie, it might be a pretty quick episode. Quick season finale. But we may I know for sure the trailer for season 2 is going to drop this Monday at 8 p.m. The trailer for season 2, just finished it, and it's looking pretty spicy. It's looking pretty dope. We're super excited for season 2. And you know, we have, like I said, we're going through all the Elm Street films. We're looking at trying to get some special guests on from the horror YouTube movie space. Kind of take that as you will. But we're trying to branch out a little bit. One of our goals was to get some more people on to chat about this stuff. So I think it's going to be a good time. We're super excited. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at We Talk the Movies. We do new shows every Tuesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. and 10 a.m. Eastern. Please be sure to leave this video a like, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel, and we will see you this Saturday for the season finale of Purely and Simply Evil. Guys, take it easy. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you this weekend.
Peace.
I'm not going to Yosemite.